on YouTube. And don't censor it either. Let it play through.
Because of him, the guy sitting across from me right now, I have started smoking again. He sat here and lit up 4 cigarettes because of this. So because of him, I am now a smoker again. It's not funny. You sat here and lit up 3 cigarettes. I smelled it and I went back to smoking. You're an idiot.
Are we live?
Yeah. All right, folks. Here in the studio with me is my good friend Franko. And if he doesn't stop itching his ass and playing with his pants, I'm going to reach over there and slap him.
How you doing, Wade?
I'm doing fine.
Same here.
So what? So tell me about this shit that you brought into the studio, would you? You've been playing it for the last 20 minutes while I've been sitting here getting ready. What the fuck is it?
PS4. I was playing, it's called Assassin's Creed Unity. Pretty cool. A lot of glitches, but...
So you put that in here. You made one of the jack-off interns that they gave us. Plugged that thing into the TV.
Huh?
Jack-off interns they give us comes in here and plugs this thing in the TV. He sits down and starts playing it and doesn't even pay attention to me at all the whole time he's been here. So, and now that I started the show, he's screaming at me, wait, I gotta get to the safe place. What's a safe place? Is that a place where somebody won't kick you in the nuts because you're stupid or something? Or what? I don't got a safe place around here, boy.
Shut up. I'll smack you.
Let's see what we got.
You're...
Obama, listen to this one, Franko. Here's something for you. Obama pushes for open internet, urges FCC to protect neutrality. This is a new thing, right in the USA Today. It's right here on the page. It's big, bold, and everything. It's almost like it's a biggest story everybody ever heard. What they're trying to do is make it. Here's something in simple form for you, folks. What they're trying to do, and Franko can testify to this probably because he's got Comcast and Time Warner down there, is they're trying to make the internet so that it is safe, and Time Warner and Comcast and other networks, for the FCC to come in and say what you can do, what you can't do, what you want to do, whatever, you know, just like they did with radio and TV and everything else. And they're trying to make it so the internet can be anything anybody wants it to be, which I personally disagree with to a different degree. I think the internet should be a kind of closed network at times, because that would make it so that the dumb people are not going to ruin it for the rest of us. I believe that there's some people up there that would go up to make a porn site that's totally disgusting and stupid, and there's no rules about it. There are rules about it. The state I live in, New York, folks, is one of the strictest states there is dealing with the internet. I don't even think that law would even, FCC couldn't do anything with what New York has done. However, that also means you can't go and make your own website. You can't do whatever they don't want you to do or whatever they deem to be stood, just like for radio, just like for television. And the old rule of turn to dial will not apply anymore, because the FCC will stick their fingers in something that's supposed to be free for everyone. Now, other countries have already done this. Europe, I think even China, and I think some parts of Russia, and the Middle East, we all know that. have denied their people internet and controlled it to what they see and do, which I think is just stupid. If you laugh at me for drinking out of this straw, I'm going to hurt you.
Well,
it is my Coca-Cola cup.
Honestly,
folks.
I agree.
And Franko thinks it's funny that I drink out of it. Anyways, what are you laughing for?
What's that?
So, what do you think about this, Franko? What's your opinion on it? You're more internet savvy than I am.
Well, first off, I gotta point out I don't have Comcast or Time Warner in my area. I have a internet provider called Armstrong, and they're actually pretty fair. They have...
Yeah, but you have Comcast and Time Warner. You have to. You live... you travel some a long ways to get to the studio here, but you actually live down near Philadelphia. So you got to have Comcast and Time Warner somewhere down there.
Well, yeah, like a couple towns over, we have Comcast, and
we have some outskirt area.
I don't know, people.
We have outskirt area here that is just like that, where some independent cable company comes in. I mean, to be honest with you, all you need is wires and a satellite to receive the stations, and then wires to put them out on, and you can become a cable company. I know somebody who did it. He got in trouble because he didn't pay the taxes and everything, but he did it. He gave everybody in his trailer park free cable by hooking them up to wires and everything with a satellite. And it was about 40 people who had, TV and stuff. He did it with wireless internet.
Armstrong too. Pretty much is.
Are they all right? I said, are they all right? Because with internet, my friend there, he got wireless internet, and everybody in the trailer park had internet too. But I'm wondering if Armstrong is all right. I mean, Time Warner cable's okay. We haven't gone down tonight. We did last night. It's been storming and snowing here, so all the wires are starting to freeze. But he, as in that general manager up there at Time Warner Cable, makes it so that every year you pay almost $30 more than you did the year before. So is Armstrong any better than him? Any better than a Time Warner Cable?
Well, I'll be honest, it's pretty expensive, but the quality, it's good. It really is.
Well, I'm running at 25. I think they said 20 something or 30 something megabyte here with turbo, and then they did Extreme Internet. But anyways, back to this. What Obama's doing. Obama's encouraging the FCC not to do what they want to do, and to make the internet free for everyone. There's a whole article on. I could go on for hours about it, but I'm not going to. Not today, anyways. We already went over the internet and everything a couple weeks ago. You can see our archive channels on my YouTube channel. Go up to Wild Wacky Wade on Twitter. You can follow me there. And if you want to call into the show, the phone number is 607-217-4667 if you want to be a part of the broadcast, which the phones probably aren't going to work because the guy sitting across over there on the board doesn't know how to work the goddamn phones. So we don't have phones. If you want to write to me, it's Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com. We're going to go on a little break here, and when we come back, we're going to find out what this big thing is that Franko has, this game here, because I'm new to this stuff. I don't have a PlayStation or Xbox or anything, so we'll be right back. All right, and we're back, and you were talking about your internet being 160-something on the break?
Yeah, it's... my internet, the one I have is... last month's statement was about $167. But the thing is, it's really good. I rarely get kicked offline.
Well, you also probably have cable and
have
all that
flawless
shit with it too, right?
Yeah, I have basic cable. I think I have phone service, but it's not active.
What
But
basic?
yeah, it's
What's the basic service? You get what, 1 through 12?
no. I get I get a lot of channels, but none of the premium channels like HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Encore. I haven't got any of those, but I have over 200 channels, including music channels, just music all day long. It's really cool. But
So it's kind of like my Comcast Time Warner
But,
cable, whatever they're doing up here. It's where they have a lot of channels, like you can watch the Discovery Channel or Animal Planet and all that shit. So yeah, I got all three. That's how I got a phone service for here, is through that. But I don't like it because they're always raising the price. I pay one price one week, another price another week. So it's not as good as they say it is. I wish, however, it was. I wish it was better. I wish it was a good service. I wish that we had a better service and to be able to do it a lot better than we do.
I must point out, my internet has a 250 gigabyte data limit. I don't know what that means, but if you go over, it's $10 per 50 gigabytes, and I'm okay with that. It's just
I don't like to be cut off like that. Verizon
weird.
had that stuff. Verizon had where you get cut off like that. Verizon was just I mean, if I have a problem with Time Warner Cable here, or the studio here, or at my house, what we do is we call them up, and they will come out for free. Verizon pays almost up to $159 for someone to come out. You're kind of on your own. And it's just cheap and stupid.
Yeah. No, my cable company's real friendly. They work with you and they sort things out if you need to. But yeah,
well, that's your local area, right?
Cool.
Armstrong isn't a big. Is Armstrong something really huge and big? I mean, they're not like conglomerate, like corporate Time Warners, are they?
Well, they're pretty much the same thing as Time Warner. It's just the Western Pennsylvania area.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure if it goes over into Ohio or not.
So it's kind of like the electric companies they got out now. They kind of got like Agway going to this way, and Edison going here, and NICEAG going here, and Mohawk Valley Electric going there. That's kind of like what you guys have down there then. Because this new law that we have up here is that you have to have an energy provider, and you have to have a delivery. NICEAG is delivery of all your electric. And all your electric providers and stuff can be anything that you pick that covers your area. Which I think there's like 14 companies that cover my area. So I can pick from 14 different companies.
Honestly, I can't really complain about the bills here because it's average. I mean, our power rarely goes out even during thunderstorms. It stays good. So unless a transformer gets hit or something, then yeah, the power's going to go out. But you know, I can't really complain.
Yeah, it's we have a municipal district not far from here, which I wish, because their electric bills are almost like $12 to $50 a month. That's great.
That's all?
Well, they supply their own electric. However, when the power does go out or there's a problem, you might wait 3-4 days before they fix it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've seen the power go out and people wait a whole entire day before they did. And one time when they did it, they caused 2 lines to catch fire and a huge bad accident and everything else. So let's read some of our emails.
Anyways.
Some of our emails from the last show we had. I don't know who this Bob guy is, but every time he writes me an email telling me I suck and I should get off the air. We have another email here telling me that YouTube is wonderful. Thank you very much. We have a couple emails here just asking general questions. I'll read one of them here. General questions about what our guests are and stuff. Well, the problem with our guest is last week's guest didn't show up. This week's guest didn't show up. So we're having a problem with people not showing up, but that's okay. Last week was Halloween. The last show we did was Halloween. And Halloween was great. I sat there through the show eating all of my daughter's candy. I recommend you to go up to YouTube and watch it. I don't know, did you go trick-or-treating this year, Franko?
No, I didn't. I stayed home and I think I slept through Halloween.
I kind of miss trick-or-treating, but I don't because I got to take the little daughter out to trick-or-treat. And watching these ungrateful little snobby little bastards, I was always taught to say thank you when somebody gives you something. The kids open their bags. The lady put the whole Hershey's candy bar this lady's giving out too.
Really?
Yeah. And then the kids just close their bag and run away and not even say thank you. My mom would have beat me severely back home if I did that. Another thing I didn't like about this Halloween season is they rushed us through. I mean, I was in Walmart wondering what holiday I'm going to celebrate. Either I'm going to celebrate Halloween or Christmas. If they're going to shove religion down my throat, that's one hell of a way to do it, I guess. I'm not too sure about the Christmas stuff that's
Aren't you
out now.
Christian?
Huh?
Aren't you Christian?
Yes, I am, but when I see Santa and all the other Christmas bulbs across from the Halloween costumes, that gets me a little alarmed. That gets me a little ticked.
I agree. Yeah.
So,
anyways, if you want to continue that discussion about the FCC and whatnot, we could.
Well, the FCC Obama is just, I mean, I notice you're reading the paper now over there. It's just about the FCC, about how the FCC is going to try to take it over. They tried this way back in 2000. They tried it in 2005. So about every 5 years they try it. They want to get it so it's alarmed, and they want to get it so they don't have as much things as they want. They don't have as much control as they want to have. So therefore, they decide to say, hey, let's take over the internet. Let's take over and let's do stuff. And let's make the internet something that it might not even be. I can remember when I was a kid, they started this new stuff about letters and numbers. Everything coming out on a basis of control of rating stuff. Which I thought, I had no thought about it. I was a kid. But now that I get older, why are you telling me something's PG-13? That means it's good enough for a 13-year-old, but yet it's on a channel for children ages 5 to whatever they want to watch. I remember when Pokemon came on, when it first came out, it was rated PG and PG-13. Now it's something else. It's rated there's something to do with violence and cartoon violence or whatever. They even rate Looney Tunes now, which I think is absolutely a disgrace. I think it's stupid. I think it's not even worth the time to do it. And that's what they're trying to do with the internet, basically. They're trying to get it so that there's control over it. And in the article, thank you. Wow. I need the paper here so I can read you right from the article. And I have it right here. Obama asked the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, to create a new set of rules protecting net neutrality and to ensure that phone and cable companies will not be able to act as a gatekeeper, restricting what you can do or see online. That statement alone, these people that are against Obama should be wary of these things. They should be focused on these things because this is what Obama's doing to help us. The FCC, basically, the neutrality means that it's neutral. It's not good or bad. No one can say it's good or bad. And no one can do whatever they want to it. In other words, you can't come on and say A, B, C, and D is gone. E, F, G is now in. And J and K, we might put in there once in a while, depending on how much money you pay for the license. The internet is basically it was set up to be free for whoever wanted to get the information. But there's servers that give you the ability to get to the internet, and that's what you pay for. So it's kind of like paying for a cab to go downtown to a free concert. You got to get to the concert in order to listen to the music or see whatever they're doing on the stage. That's kind of like what the internet is. Time Warner Cable, you have Armstrong, some people have Comcast. These companies want to control what you do and see, like we said earlier. But on the other end of that is, I also believe there should be a little control. Some of these sites out here are pretty nasty and stupid, and we don't need them to be out there. However, the internet, again, was made to be free, and for information to be given to anybody, and for anybody to access it and do whatever they want with it. I grew up in the age where the internet was not here, and then it was. So I'm kind of old-fashioned in the fact that
same here.
I kind of can't live without the internet, but I knew a time when they didn't have it, and we did the same stuff we do now without it. Cell phones weren't around. If you wanted to watch TV, you had to watch like 28 commercials before your TV show came back on. But the commercials back then were fun to watch. They were about things that I actually, need or could do, like my He-Man and my wrestling collections and stuff. But these days, commercials are nothing but information centers, and it's just a bunch of weird garbage, to be honest with you. The internet gives me TV without commercials. It gives me TV on demand. I pick what I want to see when I want to see it. However, a lot of the television shows, I could right now go in the local paper and get a weekly television schedule and type in the shows on my Netflix or YouTube or freetv.com or whatever it is there. Hulu's another one, and I can get to it. But this brings us back to the internet. These sites would not be there because the cable companies would say you couldn't access them, making you only buy cable or only see the cable TVs. These power networks and companies can do a lot of damage. I think it should be neutral with some laws like we have. Other people think there should be no laws whatsoever.
honestly, I like what we have right now. I if something changed, it would. I don't know. I just think it would
See,
warn everything.
I'm speaking of federal laws, Franko. I'm speaking of federal laws. There's some federal laws out there that you can't watch porn. You can't watch whatever you want to watch that's weird. However, there's state laws, like in New York, that say you can't do other stuff. You can't legally watch, YouTube videos of people fighting. You can't support different causes with videos on the internet, like getting marijuana legalized or something. I'm not even on that bandwagon. I could care less about stuff like that. But other people that do, they can face some stiff penalties. When if the internet was neutral, anybody could do what they wanted on there. It's a bit weird and it's a bit odd. We're coming up to another break. I don't know why they have so many breaks here. That's what they want. They want to have breaks so they can pump their sponsors. When we come back, I'm going to discuss what happened to the network. People, I got a few emails here, reviewing them really quick. So when we come back, I'll review the emails and I'll discuss what happened to the network. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So here's an email asking, why am I not on the network anymore? Why am I not on? Well, the truth of the matter is we had a little discussion with the boss, and we kind of settled on the day wasn't right, and then it went to some other things. So for right now, I'm broadcasting here on YouTube where you're listening to us, which I want you to go down and hit the subscribe button. And today we're here, if you're joining us. My one is the Wild and Wacky Wade show here. And the Wild and Wacky Wade is here with Franko today. Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com is our email. Our phone number is 607-217-4667. If you want to be a part of the program, please note the phone may be answered first and screened. And so far, all the idiots haven't gotten through. We've made sure of that. Franko is joining us. He's a good friend of mine. We're here in the studio. The person at the board is an idiot and telling me that we need to go to a break when we just came back from one. So no, we're not going to go to a break. Why are all these people that we have working our board idiots, Franko? Would you please answer that? Can you answer that for us?
Honestly, it's all about the fucking money. It really is.
All about the money? These people volunteer. So if they're getting paid, I want to get paid. So we come into the studio, and the first thing I get handed is an email asking about what happened at work that I was on, that people want to know what happened and stuff. So I just said what happened, and I'm going to reiterate it. We had a discussion with the network's, bosses, and we agreed that for right now, maybe the schedule is not right. Things are not right. And of course, the sponsors and everything are not behind me, which if you're listening to the show, I complain about sponsors all the time. I have 3-4 sponsors, but as you said, it's all about the money. If they're not going to pay the high dollar, then, the program ain't going to take off. So somebody out there, if you're listening to my program and you want to help us, it'd be appreciated. And our plans here. Franko's taken a look at the sheet before. We actually have a sheet that tells us our plans. One of those sheets is $5 a month to be advertised on here. Now, a lot of people think that's crazy. I don't. In fact, I would pay to have myself advertised. And the other things I do. But that would be a waste of my money because I can just talk about myself right now. So that's what happened to the network. Have no fear, I'm still here on YouTube. I'm going to be staying here. We're looking into getting a Ustream.com or a Uvlog.com live account type thing where we can be every week, same time, same place, get some more stuff going on. And of course, with the 3 guests I wanted to have canceling, that does not look good for me. That didn't look good for anybody when it happened. And it happened quickly. It happened suddenly. It happened, one canceled the day of, and their excuse was that they had something come up, and I'm thinking to myself, what came up? An hour before you're supposed to walk through the door of the studio. What were you? On the highway turning off the exit and decided, I got to do something else? Come on. The other 2 were car dust. If Franko could make it here to the studio, I guess the rest of you can make it to the studio. And Franko's stupid. Let me tell you. This guy with directions. Holy crap. So,
anyways,
well, you are. I give you simple directions, and it's like you stare at me for an hour and a half wondering where to go. I mean, it's awful. But I've known Franko for years. Remember that other show they got me going on? Remember that other one they did before I got off and did my own pirate radio thing? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So Franko's been around for a while. He also plays Dungeons and Dragons in our Dungeons and Dragons group. And the poor fucker has sat here at 4th level for like forever.
If we had steady players, we could probably achieve new levels.
Well, see, everybody puts their work first. Everybody puts their job and family before Dungeons and Dragons, and you're supposed to put Dungeons and Dragons before everything else.
Really?
Yeah. I do. I mean, I just include my family. The kids want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Come on over and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not. That's why I'm not married. Hey. A lot of women do not like it that you put Dungeons and Dragons before your sex life.
We should do a live session of D&D.
Well, we have. It took off pretty nicely, but a lot of people don't want to come to the YouTube channel. They don't want.
But anyways, this broadcast has been going on for quite some time.
Well, we normally have a 2-hour broadcast. I think it was 3 hours on Halloween.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I used to have a 2-hour program. Everybody remembers the Paranormal World, which a little Baldy there decides to go with another show for, like you said, top dollar. And I think that had something to do with it. I think he conned the whatever into letting him come over. But to be honest with you, I think that show did all right. We had almost 3,000 listeners. And we went for 5 years and did every single topic we could have. That's what's so good about this show, is I can speak about any damn thing I want. I can speak about shoving candles up kangaroos' asses on Thanksgiving morning. I wanted to. I don't give a shit. I mean, it's not nice to shove a candle up anything's ass. And sometimes the candle goes out. You realize that? So it doesn't do any good. And sometimes, if you're like shoving a candle up a drunk's ass, the drunk will fart and it'll just like set everything on fire. And that's not good. Well, here, this is another thing, bringing up that. Drunks, don't you own a bar or something, or you got a part of it or something?
My dad owns a bar. It's called the Keystone. It's a little Western Pennsylvania family establishment. It's really nice, but we only have food on Thursdays, so. And
this is the thing about you, Franko.
It's just a little.
Your dad owned a bar, and you're still a virgin.
Shut up.
What?
Shut
you still
up.
are.
Shut up.
I mean, if my dad owned a bar, I would have every woman in town with it. There'd be a little wage around the whole entire town.
No, honestly, I won't lie. A lot of old folks come into my dad's bar, so.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Also, a lot of them are already spoken. Keep in mind, a lot of them are already spoken for, and I don't want to mess anything up, you know. I'm a respectful person. I believe in respect for women.
Well, if she's in a bar and her husband's home, what is she doing in a bar? Think about it. Think about it there for a minute.
Their husband is usually with them.
Oh, I was going to say, if she's married and she's in that bar and he's home, well, what's going on there?
Yeah, mostly the older couples come in together, so they just want to hang out and drink, that's all. Yep. They just want to have a good time.
You ever have anybody where you got to throw them out and shit? Or they get so drunk you got to drag them home?
Not that I know of. We had to throw a couple people out before, but they never got so stupidly drunk that they couldn't walk home or get a ride from someone.
And how big's your town? Like 3 miles? So it's like everybody lives next to each other anyways?
Let's see.
No, I know your town doesn't have a cab company.
A wide town? No, it don't. You have to call the next county over, or the next town over, to get a cab. So, but no, it's a fairly decent town. Is
the cabs expensive?
Wide.
Is the cab expensive?
I don't know. I never took a cab. I never had to.
So your town is like one of those where it's spread out wide more so than it is together.
Right.
We got a lot of those
the house
around here where your neighbors maybe 2 football fields away from you. And the town hall's right across from the library, you know?
Yeah.
And you probably don't have your own police. No, you probably don't have your own police force and everything else, do you?
Yeah, we have Elwood City Police Department. They're a bunch of dicks. No,
hey now.
Really, they are.
Hey now, you can't say that on my show. No. Last week, the other week, as you know, you've been listening, Franko. You listen every week. We were talking about those videos. Now that you brought that up, about those police officers that were deliberately slapping and hitting people. And now that you brought it up, that reminds me, I found out by doing some research myself that the police have a two-chance rule. You have to be doing both of those things together in order for them to react in a serious manner to you. And normally it is a threat to yourself or a threat to others. For instance, if you're in a bar and somebody starts with you and the police are called and you have a pull stick in your hand, not only can you be a threat to yourself, but you can be a threat to others. So therefore, the police officer can take action. Now, I don't know if they all do it or not, but what you were saying as being, pricks, maybe it's because they've learned to be that way because of stuff. I mean, in my own city here, the other day I saw a police officer run after somebody. He didn't tackle him, but he grabbed them and threw them to the ground. And I'm thinking to myself, why did you throw them to the ground? Why can't you just stop them and handcuff them and everything be all right? You got to show off and throw them to the ground, which I think he was showing off. However, I don't know where that guy was. I don't know what the guy did. For all I know, he could have had a shotgun in his hand and threw the shotgun somewhere and just took off running. So I don't know. All I saw was the end of the deal with him being tackled to the ground. And then another officer joined, and then a sheriff showed up. However, I was told I live in a bad neighborhood. I don't know. Already tonight during this program, folks, there's been about 5 police officers with lights that have passed at different points already in this program. So, maybe so. Maybe the studio is in a bad neighborhood, and I also live in the same neighborhood as the studio is. So, it's kind of both. I'm going to be moving the studio into my home, I think. Might come down to that. But, nevertheless. So, why do you think that they're mean, Franko? Why do you think that they are pricks? I mean, what are they doing? Are they doing anything illegal?
Oh, yeah, of course. They break the law because they are the law, and they're allowed.
Well, how many times? Here's a question. New York State law, it's on the books. Honest to God, this law is on the books. If you do not cross the street in a designated crossing area, you can face up to a $150 fine for disturbing traffic, or impairing traffic, it's called. That means you walk out in the middle of the road and you're disrupting the traffic. Now, I can see where this is a safety issue, but I don't see where it's worth $150 to the state.
That's ridiculous.
I can see where I could see where a police officer could stop you and say you're a moron for walking out in the middle of the road. You're an idiot. You're stupid. You're a fucking crazy man. Okay? I could see where if you are done it bad enough, where if you caused a problem with the traffic, they could take you to court and do something about it. But $150?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I could take you right now to a neighborhood. It's 4 miles from here, where if you cross the street, okay, you're going to have no problem because there's no traffic. And also, let's think about this. You're a police officer. Are you going to stop someone who's crossing the street outside of a designated crossing area? That might not even be a crosswalk. That might be somewhere where they designated it. Now, I haven't gotten a book every month of where designated crossing areas are for citizens. So I don't know where they are. And this is a point we brought up last time during this argument of police officers, is when they have these rules, they don't hand out little booklets to the people to let them inform them of the rules. So the police stop you for disobeying a rule you never even knew existed. So you cross the street. Is the police officer really going to stop you? I've been told once in my whole life, and it was when I was in high school. not to cross the street. And that was during the time when our school, the buses, it's right in the middle of a main street. They got a rule where nobody's allowed to cross the street. They have a designated crossing guards, and they cross you. Well, us kids, I don't care. I never cared. So I'd cross the street anyways. One time in my whole life, I had an officer tell me I can't cross the street only where a crossing guard is. Once. I'm 34 years old. 34 years of my life. Probably about 24 of those years, I've actually been able to cross the street whenever I felt like it.
You see, you can get away with that here. It's like...
I don't know if it's in the Pennsylvania books or not. I know it's in Texas and Florida you can't cross without a designated area. I don't know if PA has a law like that.
The town I'm in, not really. They say that you should cross at the corner, but you don't really have to. If there's no car,
well, even when you cross at the corner, Franco, you cross at that corner. If I looked at that sign when a little man comes up in white or blue or whatever he is, I only have a minute to cross the road before this orange hand, it looks like a hand saying hi to me or something, comes up on that green box. So I only got a minute to cross the road. I mean, if you timed how long a traffic light is, you only got a minute to cross the road?
Yeah, that's about right. And
it takes 2 minutes for me to make sure my knee bends so I can cross it. I mean, my knee is getting worse. It takes me probably about half a minute to realize that the traffic is completely stopped so I can get across the street. Yeah. Around here, the traffic don't watch you at all around here. They will just as soon run into each other as well as you to get where they're going. They don't care. I've seen where the traffic light... I've seen where the traffic light has gone all yellow on all four sides. And they just keep driving into each other. They don't care. They'll hit each other and then keep on going. They don't care. And if you're listening to us right now... I got to bring up this point. What was that? If you do what? You're not going to be able to stop people from driving like idiots, Franco.
Yeah, I know. I got to bring this up. It's about public drunkenness and whatnot. Is it all right if we talk about that real quick?
Well, we're coming up on a thing here. I was going to let everybody know that they can go to Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com. You're up here on YouTube, so subscribe to our channel. You can see me on Twitter. All the access stuff is here on our YouTube account. And that's a very good point, Franco. Public drunkenness. What? I mean, let's define public drunkenness. That doesn't mean I've had a drink and I walk out in public, right? Or is it?
Here's how it works here. If you have enough drinks to make you simply tipsy and you don't want to drive because you know you're going to be a danger to yourself and others, so you walk. The police officers here, not all of them, but a lot of them, will pull you over, not pull you over, but pull you aside just to find their mark. It's all about the money.
Well, new and decent, which I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean until you become decent.
See, a few years ago, people could they could walk home from a bar and be perfectly fine. If a police officer pulls you over, they'll be like, "Hey, you okay?" And You'd say, yeah, officer, I can't drive, so I'm walking home. I'm on my way home right now, going to bed. The police officer would be like, okay, be careful, be safe. But it's not like that anymore. I don't know.
Well, a lot of it is they want people to be decent. I mean, we're in an age where people can take cell phones and videotape anything they want, which is half the problem with these things on YouTube with police officers. Also, they want citizens to be safe and to not be crazy anymore. I remember a time when you could do weird shit. You could stick your head out of the sunroof in your car and scream going down the street, and nobody cares. Now, if you do that, that's considered to be public indecency. We've talked about it on the show before, where what's her name called in and told us about it. She was arrested for it. Now, I don't understand how that's possible. If anybody's watching this show or listening to this show or whatever you're doing, and you got some stories, we'd like to hear them, because your stories are the best ones. We got an email telling us that a police officer has a right, basically is what it's saying. Police officer has a right to determine if you're safe or not. Well, don't you know your own limits? I mean, yeah, people drink and they don't know their limits. But I know my limit after 6 beers, that I should sit down or I'm going to get a headache, or I should find a way to go home because I've had enough and it's time to go home. And then we got the factor of dancing in there, which I don't dance, to hell with that. And eating, which I eat. You know that, Franko, I eat. So, I mean, if I chow down on 24 wings and a pizza and whatever else I can get down my gullet, and I have, 3-4 beers, it'd be all absorbed by the food, probably making it 1 beer. So I know my limits. I'm not endorsing driving home drunk, but I know people that can have 3 beers and drive perfectly. I know people that can have 3 beers and not make it out the door. I know people that can have 12 beers and walk down the street perfectly. I know people, if they get 12 beers in them, they're laying on the floor passed out. So it all depends on the person. But like this email said, that police officer is responsible for your safety and responsible for your town. However, what you're saying is basically what Franko is saying, folks. So you don't write me an email saying I'm an ass. Is that they could do it in a nicer way. They could do it in a proper way. They could do it so that they're not looking dumb when they're doing it, or they're being disruptive themselves. We saw that, we discussed that a few weeks ago, that some officers are basically breaking the law by being disruptive themselves. They're going over and beyond what their duty is or job is, and they're trying to make people feel bad, or trying to play what I call a power play to manage people, to get them to think that they're the boss. But there's a nice way to do it and a mean way to do it. I mean, if I was an officer, I'd ask somebody if they're all right. Inform them that I'm here for their safety. I'm here to make sure that it's safe for them, like the rule of 2 is. If are they safe to themselves, or are they safe to the public? That's what I would do. Now, a lot of people don't think what I would do is right. A lot of people have written me emails telling me that I should just shut up, that I know nothing about what I'm talking about. However, I've had the same amount of emails telling me that I basically know my knowledge here. We got to go on a little break. When we come back, I'm going to find out what time it is, because I haven't looked at the clock the whole time, because I don't like looking at the clock. I think I'm the only radio host who doesn't. So when we come back, I'll find out, and we'll see what else we're doing right after this. And so we're back. I'm going to need more coffee, so that intern better bring me more coffee. Anyways, it's almost time for us to give up here. Got another email telling us police officers have to follow commands, so it's whatever they're told to do, they do. Well, I don't know. I want to get off the subject of police officers. I think for the last 4 weeks, people have written me emails, hate mail and good mail, about the subject. So, Franko's probably going to join us more often on the program. And again, we're going to get Ustream and Uvlog and a lot of the other. I'm going to try to see if there's a network where we can get every day, or I don't even know if Google Plus. Somebody mentioned Google Plus on YouTube, but I don't know if a Hangout Live would be great or not. I did do one that I was invited to do. It was all right, but it didn't quite do it what I wanted it to do. And a lot of times these networks take you on, and then they don't meet what they want to do, and they take you off. So if the network is listening, which I know they're probably going to listen to me, they're probably going to see what happens to me, and they're probably going to see how mean I get and bashful I get, which I won't bash the network I was on. I won't do it. The network is wonderful. It has other shows on it. It has that bald-headed fat guy. We all know who he is on it, with that other guy with the sunglasses. And the studio is still here. So my show's not going anywhere. If guests would show up, which I think is pretty stupid, that if you're on a show and you're going to do something, I think you should do it. I don't think you should not show up. I was always taught.
Now, if they can come up with a... I'm sorry. If they can come up with a good excuse, why not? That's fine. But if they're just going to say, oh, I can't make it, come on, dude. What the fuck?
Well, another problem with this is this. Like you said, if they came up with something. However, I don't think they did. You can go up on YouTube and see my video, by the way, folks. On YouTube here, just down your videos. I might as well just say you're here now. On the show. Because you could see a good friend that I went to start with. He know. I just pickle the clown and get him to come up here and show me. But that's in the works. I have some other things in the works written to a few people. Of course, nobody ever writes back. Nobody has to return your phone. And if you're listening right now and you're one of those people, I would like you to slap yourself across the face as hard as you can for being one of those type of people that don't here on the program. Person. I write them a message back either answering their question or I thank them for writing. And thank them for writing, I should say, because no matter what you write in for, you'll get a thank you for writing in. That doesn't mean I want you to send me a email that says hello on it and just get a thank you for writing in. You know who you are, who does that a week. I don't know what we're going to do for next week. I do have a plan.
Before we go, I want to promote someone real quick.
Who do you want to promote? Franko.
I'll give a shout out. He's currently on break right now, but me and him are planning on doing a lot of WWE 2K15 videos. So we're going to do this together. Check out.
What kind of videos are you going to be doing?
Gameplay videos of WWE 2K15.
Is that legal?
That comes out in, I think, 2 or 3 days now.
Is that even? Can you even do that? A lot of people have been in trouble for being up on YouTube with music, games in them, and everything else. So I don't even know if that's possible to be done.
Advertisements in your videos of the game, then you're fine. But if you try to make money off of it, then that's bad. So.
Well, I can't even show the game because the game is copyright material. Because I'm not allowed to play any of my advertisements that endorse something because I can make money off it on here, which found I can do. So I'm going to try to follow those rules in the advertisements. I don't know if the project has the ad in them or not.
Okay.
For the network took the ads out because they put their own ads in. So it appeared here on YouTube. I'd have any in there because they would put it in their selves, which the archive, when it gets a finished product, doesn't have the advertisements in it for some reason. So we're finding out more about that. And if you are somebody that wants to be mentioned or sponsor, advertise, whatever, I could be mentioned on the show because that's what it is. Wild and Wacky Wade at yahoo.com. Our call-in number. I'm not even bothered with the call number. Only people called in, and each one was stupid. That's another problem here. But it's been a great show with Franko. We're going to have on again. We did have a co-host all set up and stuff.
I'd be glad to.
But he never panned out because he never showed up twice. And if he did, it wasn't good. So, hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And we will see you probably next week. The only thing different is that we don't know what the management's going to do to us. So we'll see you next time. Subscribe to the tube. From me, all good stuff for YouTube. If you listen to us up on YouTube, if you listen to us somewhere else, let us know. And we thank you for listening as well. And we'll see you next time at yahoo.com. Have fun.